Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to preview this Saturday's boxing action, which we have fights going on two networks. We got Showtime and we got HBO. Paid subscription fighting.
That's right.
So on the Showtime card, we have Ruslan Provodnikov and John Molina in the main event. On the undercard to that, we have Demetrius Andrade and Willie Nelson, which should be a type of 154-pound eliminator going on there. We saw a couple weeks ago, we had the Charlo brothers fighting in separate bouts, and Erislandy Lara as well at 154. So that cleared out the picture a little bit. This one should clear out the picture a little bit more. And then with Provodnikov-Molina, we just got fireworks. Enjoy it.
I don't think that's going past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it more in depth. But also on HBO, you have Felix Verdejo fighting Juan Jose Martinez. And then Vasily Lomachenko is fighting Roman Rocky Martinez. Two Martinezes, no relation. Fighting on HBO, which should be a good card as well. Get your DVRs ready, because flipping back and forth, you're going to miss something. We are going to start on the Showtime side. So first up, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade versus Willie Nelson. And did Andrade, he still has a WBA belt, correct?
I believe so. I would have to look it up because I can't remember. Because I know they were talking about stripping him because he wasn't really facing anyone.
Right. And I did not check before we start shooting, so I'll just put it down at the bottom just to make sure. I think he was stripped and then given back the belt. No, I'm thinking of Rigondeaux. I'm sorry. But it's the same organization, and they do crazy stuff.
You know, it's probably a super champion and some other diamond champion somewhere, so.
Yeah, it gets confusing. Let's talk about the fisticuffs. Both of these guys are very tall. They're very big for the weight class, and they're also very skilled. So we should get a pretty good high-level matchup. What you got for us, Rob?
Yeah, Andrade is probably going to be the most polished of the two, but I don't think he has seen the competition that Willie Nelson has. Willie Nelson, he won a surprising well, I'm not going to say surprising, but
he was not the A-side
of the fight versus, can't think of his name. It was a up-and-coming fighter. We'll put that in the right here.
It was right there. I was just thinking about it, and then once you said, what's his name? It went away.
Well, whatever it was, that was a fight that he was not supposed to win. But he has seen greater competition than Andrade has. But Andrade has the better pedigree. He's more athletic, and I think he's a lot sharper. Kind of on that Charlo. They're very sharp, very straight punches. But he is susceptible to be knocked down, and Willie Nelson can really rumble. But he has to get past the first few rounds to begin with. Yeah,
I also think the feet are going to be a factor here because Andrade likes to keep his feet pretty wide.
Right.
And sometimes if he doesn't react fast enough, if someone comes in a straight enough line, they can get to him because he has to cover a little bit farther distance to retreat than normally a normal person in a tighter stance would. Vanis Martirosyan was able to take advantage of that early on in their fight before getting completely handcuffed. But Nelson, like Rob said, has shown to be very tough, but he's also shown that he's a little vulnerable. And I do believe that Andrade, with the sharper punches, he is slightly faster. I think Nelson might have the power edge. It's close. It's a toss-up because they both have some pretty decent KO percentages, but a lot of that was against not the best competition. I expect this one to go 12. What you think?
I think it's going to go the distance.
Yeah, so let's move on to the main event where we have John Molina fighting Ruslan Provodnikov. This fight is pretty much Provodnikov's Showtime debut, his first fight since losing to Lucas Matisse. And no, he fought back in Russia and knocked out a opponent. And now he's fighting back on TV against Molina.
This time, not on the HBO, but on Showtime, because we know he spent most of his career in the States on television, on HBO.
And ESPN.
Yeah.
Made most of his bones on ESPN until he came up to fight Tim Bradley.
Right.
Made such a good showing, they kept bringing him back. And this one, like we said earlier, should be fireworks. Provodnikov, come forward. No special effects. He just hits you real hard as much as he can.
Now, he did change trainers. He's no longer at Wildcard. He's with Joel Diaz.
Yes.
So I don't think it's going to be too much changed up, but it might be a different wrinkle here and there. Just remains to be seen.
Yes. That's something to think about, you know, especially once the leather starts flying. Will he forget what he's been taught with his new trainer and just go back to what he's used to? Or will he say, hey, let me pause for a second, figure out how to get this thing going?
And that makes me think, isn't Molina with Wildcard now?
I honestly don't know.
He just I want to say he's either with Wildcard, because I don't think he's with Robert Garcia. See, I want to say he's at Wildcard now. I have to look it up. It's a lot of stuff that is just coming to mind, and you gotta fact check.
Yes, and so he's got me gonna be really busy on the computer later on.
Oh yeah.
But Molina is very similar to Provodnikov. I don't think he is as hard a puncher, even though he does have a lot of knockouts. And most famously probably is his last round knockout of Mickey Bay in a fight that he was losing handily. But you can see that his power carries. He also went very tough with Lucas Matisse.
And which was a Fight of the Year either candidate or...
No, it did win Fight of the Year for that year.
And knocked him down twice until he was knocked out in the 11th round.
Yes. So we got two guys that are vulnerable, two guys that like to throw leather, and I don't think Provodnikov's ever been down.
No.
I don't remember. I don't think
he's been marked up.
Yeah,
he's never been down.
He took everything but the kitchen sink from Matisse, and I think that was the hardest puncher I've seen him fight.
It was. But it's rarely going to be a someone that's going to punch harder than Provodnikov in there with him.
True. So maybe 8 to 10 rounds before Provodnikov can finish the job with Molina. Because like we said, he punches hard to the body. He punches hard upstairs. He has a vicious left hook. He has a mean right hand. If he can throw in some uppercuts in the mix, it's trouble.
Well, I think it's going to go shorter because we cannot mistake Molina for a boxer. The people that Provodnikov have lost to have been boxers. Some have brawled with Tim Bradley, such as Tim Bradley, but when Bradley boxed, it was just clean.
Yes.
Same with Matisse. He went toe-to-toe with Matisse, but Matisse won off a greater ability to box and move. Chris Algieri knocked him down twice.
In the first round.
In the first round, what happened? Started fighting off his back foot, circling around, staying out of range, boxed. And then he lost to Herrera, which boxing, but they were just all kinds of jacked up after that fight.
Yeah,
both
guys looked like they went through hell after that one.
So Molina has to at least box a little bit. And I don't think he has the boxing ability to keep Provodnikov on him, and I don't think he has the power to knock him down or keep him honest. So I think Provodnikov is going to end this within 6 rounds.
It's highly possible. Either way, you're going to love it. Let's move on to the HBO side of this weekend's fights, where we have, like we said, Felix Verdejo and Juan Martinez, and then Vasily Lomachenko and Roman Martinez. Starting off with the opening fight, Zhu Shiming is making an appearance on this card.
His first television debut, his first television appearance in a while.
Yes, he's been really making his name over in Hong Kong, where he's from, rightfully so. But this time he's on the stateside fighting in Madison Square Garden. It is a showcase fight, like we said. I honestly couldn't even tell you who his opponent is. But he's a high volume puncher. Should be a little bit entertaining. But everyone's there for the two main card fighters. First up, Felix Verdejo. Verdejo is the newest Puerto Rican standout. And I believe this is around the time of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So expect a very large pro Verdejo crowd. And they are going to get what they want. Because from what I've seen of Martinez, he's a little slow of hand and foot. He is pretty tough. He has a pretty glossy record.
I think he's 20-something 1-1. And his only loss was like to
Ray Batista.
So I think, yeah, it was to Ray Batista.
Yeah. But like I was saying, Verdejo should be able to get this guy out of there. Martinez has not faced anyone on the level of Verdejo. No one on this big stage with this many eyeballs watching. Not only the moment, but the punches of Verdejo should get to him within 5 rounds. One thing for Verdejo, he does like to load up a lot. So hopefully he learns to just work and set up his power shots rather than just trying to bomb the guy out of there.
That's right.
Even though this time it probably won't matter. Main event. We've got Vasily Lomachenko moving up to the 135-pound super featherweight, junior lightweight class, whichever one you want to call it, 130 pounds. Against Rocky Martinez, who is a pretty good fighter. He just went tooth and nail twice with Orlando Salido, who, if you don't know, is a very tough customer.
Against anyone.
Yes, and he also handed Lomachenko his only loss. But this is where one of those things where they say styles make fights comes into play. Because Salido was able to rough up and really disturb the rhythm of Lomachenko, while Martinez was able to outfight Salido. And in the second fight, they fought to a draw. In this one, you have a fleet-footed boxer in Lomachenko who can give you excellent angles. He's very sharp. He is precise. He's crisp. He has a little bit of pop. I don't know if he's going to have that pop carried up to the next division. And he's in there with somebody in Martinez who has a decent chin. Unfortunately, his hands and feet aren't as fast as Lomachenko's. So if Lomachenko plays it smart, he should be able to outpoint Martinez using those angles, using those feints, circling around him intelligently, and just keeping the fight at his pace, using what they call ring generalship. Martinez should catch him a few times. So we'll see what kind of chin Lomachenko has, because he's been pretty much untouched outside of the Salido fight. So this one, he's going to get a few hits. He's going to take some leather. And he's going to take some leather from a guy who punches hard. I think his chin holds up. It may get a little dicey later on in the fight if he's not like super far ahead and Martinez still has that fight in him. That he can start to make the fight close by landing those hard punches, working the body, and trying to take the air out of Lomachenko's tires. Maybe he can start to cut the ring off later on in the fight, begin to keep working the body, and then start landing some hard shots upstairs after Lomachenko slowed down. punch with Lomachenko, because if he waits for him to be finished with his volleys, he's going to get out and he's going to miss wildly. So he's going to have to punch with him. He's going to have to punch to the body. He's going to have to intelligently cut off the ring. And he's just going to have to be patient to stay in the fight. Otherwise, it's going to be a one-sided boxing lesson coming from Lomachenko. What you got?
I think it's going to be a fight. Lomachenko, as the rounds progress, should start getting the better of Martinez. But Martinez is one of those guys who bends but never really breaks. And he's been in there. I think with all the fights that he's had and everyone that he's seen, he has the greater level of experience as far as the pro ranks. I think he's, I think if he can bring pressure, not so much as Salido did, but pressure and make Lomachenko think more than react, then it's going to be a long night for Lomachenko. I'm picking Lomachenko to win. I think it would be a unanimous decision. But you're talking about a guy who's been in some of the toughest fights those divisions have to offer. And Lomachenko is still a great pro, standout pro. I think it's going to go tooth and nail in the first half of the fight. I think he starts to outclass him as the fight wears on. But Martinez is battle tested.
Yeah. So Rob has it going the opposite way that I think it's going to go, but we do have the end as the same. Lomachenko should pull this out. So I do believe it's going to be a good fight. I think Rob will concur with that. So tune in and enjoy. And we will catch you guys on the recap. That is it for this video. Make sure you like it. Share it with your friends. If you have not done so, hit the subscribe button so you can catch all of our videos. You can hit us up on Facebook, Google+, Instagram, social networks. Just search Capital Combat. You'll find us. CapitalCombat@gmail.com if you want to shoot us an email. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.